Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Drew Wills. To everyone who is new here, I'm a model slash social media influencer who happens to be a little knowledgeable about subjects pertaining to spiritual and personal development. If you couldn't tell by the title of today's video, we are going to be talking about people pleasing and how it can affect your day-to-day life. And as a former people pleaser myself, I think this is a subject that I'm very knowledgeable on because I've been on both sides of being the actual people pleaser, like in real time, and changing that habit and no longer being a people pleaser, and I can just compare the two. So yeah, I'm rambling already, bro. Let's just get right into it. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, feel free to settle in, open your eyes and ears, grab a pen and paper because I'm about to school you. Class is in session. So I'm not even about to waste time explaining what a people pleaser is because 9 times out of 10 you clicked on this video because you know what a people pleaser is and you probably have some people pleasing tendencies that you would like to figure out how to do away with. It's just gotten you in so many like situations that you just don't really like being in. You loaning out money that you don't have, you are in company that you don't need to be around. You are letting people walk all over your boundaries, you know what I mean, just because you don't want to upset people by standing up for yourself. So let's talk about it. So let's get into why you're even a people pleaser in the first place. The first step I took to get over my people pleasing tendencies was understanding my triggers. Why are you the way that you are? It could be different for so many different people. Maybe you grew up in a household where it wasn't really safe to like express your boundaries or whatever the case. Maybe you grew up walking on eggshells because you had like a very strict or erratic or bipolar, member in your household. So that kind of translated into your adult life, or maybe you got bullied or othered as a child. So you had to learn how to like hide parts of yourself or not completely be yourself in order to be like accepted. Who knows what that is? Only you know. So it's up to you to figure that out, and then we can move on to the next step, which is unpacking that trauma. One thing I like to do is I like to ask myself, what negative outcome am I trying to avoid by being a people pleaser? Why is it that you decide to conduct yourself in this manner? Ask yourself why. Is it out of desperation? Is it because maybe you have some sort of like abandonment issues? Really get to the root of the problem. And this is like it's like, think of it as shadow work, asking yourself why, until you get to the base of what it is. And be sure to really take your time with this. Like, don't speed past this step, really sit with yourself and ask yourself why. Ask yourself what's so special about these people. Like, why is it that you're subconsciously putting them on this pedestal to be able to have this much power over you? Why are you giving your power away like that? Whether you know it or not, every interaction that we have with people is an energy exchange. And anytime you like put people on this pedestal like that, you are literally lowering yourself on the hierarchy. There's always some type of hierarchy in every social situation. And when you put people on this pedestal like that, you're just putting them up here and you're leaving yourself down here. And that's not the position that you want to be in, because people will begin to take advantage of that. And then I'm sure you notice too, like when you put people up on this pedestal to the point where you're like putting your needs after theirs all the time, you like they never reciprocate that energy for you. Now you feeling empty. Now you feeling like, I don't know what you feel like, but it's not good. Yet you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Like, bro, once you realize that every time you overextend yourself for people who can't appreciate it, whether they have the capacity to or not, or just because they don't choose to appreciate you, you are depreciating your value in their eyes. They're looking at you as somebody who's just always going to be there. I can neglect them as much as I want. I can treat them however I want. They're always going to be around. I don't have to put in any work to maintain this bond because they are so desperate to have me in their life that they won't care that I'm giving them the bare minimum and breadcrumbing them. And this goes for everybody. Like, this goes for friends, this goes for lovers, this goes for family members, this goes for your bosses at work. Do not overextend yourself to the point where people are not appreciating you. They're thinking less of you. It's just not a good look. And it's like, if you want peace and harmony in your relationships, you have to learn the art of equal give and take. You know what I mean? Because if they're reciprocating all that love back to you, then it's fine. Give all you want as long as you're getting it back. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people pleasers will tell you that the cup is always empty because they're pouring into so many other people. And then when they need somebody to pour into them, it's nowhere, nobody's there to be found. Like you loan all this money out to people. Now you have a hard time paying your rent. You know what I mean? I don't know. You're giving all this food away, and now you barely have enough to feed yourself. And for what? Because you want people to look at you like a good person. Because you think you could like bribe them with your kindness. That was for somebody. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But really ask yourself, like, what is it that I want to get out of this? Why am I doing this? Why am I overexerting myself? Why am I picking up all these extra hours at work for this job that does not care about me? And it's just like every time they ask you to pick up an extra shift, you're going to pick it up because you think that's going to help you move up. I'm rambling again, bro. I'm just feel like running my mouth today. On the topic of peace and harmony that I talked about like a couple seconds ago, a lot of people will remain quiet, just to keep the peace. And what you'll find is, if that's you, you'll find a lot of times, because that used to be me. Oh my God, bro. I would just not say anything just because I know if I say something, it's going to blow up into something. It's going to not come out right or whatever the case. I just would much rather just deal with this and just stay quiet. But then I had to learn that I was keeping everybody's peace but myself. Every time I sat there and something triggered me and I didn't open my mouth about it, I'm the only one upset. Now I'm the only one not enjoying myself at happy hour. Now I'm the only one stressed out at work. No. Shake the table a little bit. Open your mouth. If something bothers you, you need to be able to communicate that in a respectable and appropriate manner, but get it off your chest. I think it's really smart, especially as a man and as an adult, to know when to keep your mouth closed, but that doesn't mean keep your mouth closed all the time. Have the discernment to know when to open your mouth. Because if nobody's opening their mouth, closed mouths don't get fed. The stuff that you don't like is going to keep happening to you. It's going to keep happening to you. And a lot of people, they might even be able to read that something is bothering you, but they won't respect it because you don't say anything. So they're going to keep doing that thing. That's the type of world we live in where people do stuff like that. So you got to make sure you covering your back and opening that mouth and letting people know where they have you messed up at. Letting people know, hey, you crossed the boundary, you crossed the line that I'm not okay with. Let's not do that again. In a way that comes out, you can gauge it, you make it sound different, dress it up however you want, but that needs to be the message that they get across. Like, let me not do this again with this person because they don't like that. Speak up. Because if you don't, it's going to be you that's tossing and turning at night. Meanwhile, they sleeping peacefully because they don't even know that they upset you. They have no idea how their actions, they might have said something that triggered you and it was just a little fleeting thought for them and they just went about their day and you sit here dwelling on it, sitting on it. You know what I mean? Didn't do or say anything to let them know that you weren't okay with that. Not cool, bro. Respect yourself a little more than that. I think that's a lot of things that people that's what people pleasers such as myself needed to learn. Respect yourself in order to put your input on something. If you don't like something, speak up. I'm gonna keep repeating that because, oh my God, bro. Like, nobody's gonna shut you down if you speak up. You're an adult. We are so far beyond that. Children are meant to be seen and not heard phase. Like, you're not a child anymore. You don't have to walk on eggshells anymore. Whoever was the reason for you being like this, they don't have that power over you anymore. Claim that today. Change your mind, change your life. And then I also like to break people pleasing up in like two different styles. There's like an active people pleasing, and that's what we talked about in the beginning. That's that picking up the extra shifts at work. That's the going above and beyond, trying to prove yourself to your friends. Like, oh, I can do this for you. I can do that. Like, you're just volunteering all of your service for people. You know what I mean? Volunteering all of your time. Every time they call the phone, you picking up and you the first one there. You know what I'm saying? Like, do less of that. Because what's going to happen is you're just going to run yourself so thin, you're not even going to have nothing else to give, not even to yourself. If you are in that situation, I definitely recommend that you reconsider your boundaries. Maybe even reconsider like who you got around you that's like taking advantage of you like that. Because even though it's like doesn't seem like it's anything to cry about, it's still causing an effect on your mental and it's causing an effect on like, you know what I mean? So it's like you don't have to necessarily have a heart to heart every time somebody does something that offends you or whatever the case, but you can learn to distance yourself and learn, okay, this is how they move in this situation, this is how they move in that situation, let me move over here and do blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, you can assess the situation for your benefit. Because what you don't want to do is make yourself too available, ever, you know? Once you become too available, people just seem to, like, take advantage of that. Stop picking up the phone so early. Let it ring a couple times, you know? Don't just run to the door as soon as somebody comes to it. Like, just wait a while, you know? Show that, I don't know, don't be desperate. Like, just don't be desperate. Don't be desperate for anyone's approval. Don't be desperate for anybody's attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, be cool. Just vibe, bro. Just chill. Just relax. Everything is okay. Everything's gonna be good. Like, just relax. The second form of people pleasing, that's passive people pleasing that we talked about. That's that keeping your mouth closed at the wrong time. You know, it's okay to speak up sometimes. Me personally, I don't really like passive people pleasing. You know, I feel like you're an enabler. I feel like I could wear the ugliest outfit in the world and go outside in it, and you're not gonna tell me a thing just because you want to stay in my good graces. If I wanted to destroy myself with drugs and alcohol, you are gonna let me do that. That is not the type of person I want around me. And if you are a passive people pleaser, I think you should definitely, I don't know what you should do, but that's just not the vibe. I wish I had the answers for that, but I don't. I think if I was to, let me try and come up with something, a good piece of advice for a passive people pleaser. All I gotta say is just stand on your 10, you know what I mean? Just like have a spine. If you feel some type of way or something, feel that way and express that. You know what I'm saying? And just don't, I don't know. Because of what I also notice a lot of passive people pleasers do is somebody would very clearly piss them off and they won't say anything to that person, but they'll go and tell everybody else but the person they got the issue with. Come on, man. Like, it's very cowardice and it's just not, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a peaceful way to live. Like, you always at war with yourself because you can't, like, implement your boundaries and, like, stand up for yourself. You know, at some point you just gonna have to have those hard conversations, you know. I think hard conversations bring about peace, bring about understanding at least. And if you want to be understood, you're just gonna have to stand up. Have a spine, strengthen that spine, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else to say in regards to that. You'll get it though. I really believe that you will. Like, whoever watching this and I don't want you to, I know I could come off a little blunt and I could come off a little maybe abrasive sometimes, but that's not my intention here. Sometimes you do have to have someone to be like brutally honest with you and let you know, like, this is how people perceive you. And if you don't like the way you're being perceived, you always have the power to change that. You just got to look within and do the work. But that is all for today. I don't really have any more sentiments in regarding the people pleasing because I don't know. That's something I just like to keep behind me, you know? I don't even want to think about it too much. But I really hope this video was able to help, you know, anyone who's going through a similar situation. Maybe you serve as confirmation for some of you guys. You're probably just telling yourself, you know, I want to put myself first this year. I'm tired of crossing oceans for people who don't even jump over puddles for me, blah, blah, blah. Like, if that was you, I've been there. Just because you're in there, you don't have to stay there. You know what I mean? But yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And we are almost at 500 subscribers, bro. This page is really growing quicker than I thought. You know, I didn't really have any expectations. You know, I just wanted to post my videos and get them out there. But to see that this is being received so well, I think it's really cool. And I'm just really excited for what else is to come. So I appreciate you guys for joining in. And if you are not subscribed yet, and this is like your third time dropping in, what are you doing? You might as well just go ahead and come on in, sit down. You could take your coat off. I don't have roaches. You can sit on the couch. Like, it's fine, bro. That's all I got to say for today. Class is dismissed. Have a great one.